Hello everybody and welcome to the kitchen table this Wednesday. It's Alison Southend here from the Melksham Team Ministry. Good to join with you again. Today is a glorious sunny day in Melksham and I've just had an hour or so off as I went and sat by the canal in Bradford-on-Avon to have some lunch with Derek. The sun was shining, people were chatting and walking up and down the canal side, boats aplenty going up and down. Cream teas were everywhere around us. We were very good. We had a ham salad. But as we were watching all the goings on, people around us that were eating cream teas were completely and utterly plagued by wasps. As soon as they put their knives with their jam down, the wasps were on top of it. Literally 10 or 12 wasps on one plate, just trying to get at the sweetness of that jam. Luckily, they're not so fond of a ham salad, so we had a nice peaceful lunch without them worrying us. But it did make me think about nature, about the creation of all animals and plants and our whole world that we live in. I suppose I was already thinking about that as we had our smart meter fitted in our home the other day. We have been waiting for a while for that to happen. It's part of our plan to be more aware of our carbon footprint, to think about what lights we use, what cameras we use, how much energy we spend. How much does the candle burning on the table cost us in terms of our carbon footprint? So with the arrival of our smart meter and our little box that tells us how many minutes of energy are being used, how many units, how much money it's costing us, I started to really ponder on that bigger picture. It's not the money that it's going to cost us, but it's the cost of all of the energy that we use to the planet and to our creation. When you look at Turkey and the wildfires that are just destroying that nation, people fleeing for their lives, landing on the beaches, trying to find a way out of nature's violent action of fire pouring through the trees. The floods that we see again and again. The global warming, the crisis that we find ourselves in, whatever your political persuasions, whatever you understand global warming to be, whether you believe it's a conspiracy theory, whether you are convinced that we can make a difference, one thing is sure, that the world is groaning. It's easy to think, let's get rid of the things that aren't useful, like wasps. Who needs wasps? Well, actually, we all need wasps. They are part of our chain of existence. God created everything on our planet. It's easy as human beings to actually think that we have dominion over those things. In fact, it uses the language of that in the Bible. But if you imagine it as being a domain, a place in which we live, humans are overrunning this domain. We have so many people populating this world. And not just the people, but the technologies that we have created have just made everything harder and harder, as well as easier and simpler. I'm able to sit in front of you and record this because of a really smart bit of gizmo, all of which is plastic and all of which needed creating, digging up out of the soil. The phones that we use, the precious metals that go into those phones that everybody, and it feels like almost everybody, has one attached to their ear or speaking into all of the time. Our nuclear weapons, our nuclear energy, everything that we have created the ability to just go for a little trip for a few days to the outer space because you can afford it. All of these things have altered the way we think about our world, what's possible. Everything is possible, but is everything necessary? As I was looking at the wasps, and I was thinking about our planet and how the church is planning to try and go green with a carbon neutral footprint by 2030, I was thinking about the logistics of that, how we need to not just have knee-jerk reactions, but how we need to ground ourselves in understanding how God created our world and who is at the centre of that creation. If we think I'm at the centre of that creation, then we've got a problem, because it's not about us as individuals, it's about us as a global community. The impact that we have by our deeds in our nation will be felt by people living thousands of miles away. So when we think about creation and all of the impacts that we have on it, we need to think globally as well as locally. It's good to be concerned about what's happening in our patch, to think about a smart meter, to think about turning off the lights as soon as you've finished recording, to blow the candle out, to make sure that we are being as efficient as we can be. But we need to hold on to the things that we learned during this pandemic and not let them slip away. Do you remember walking outside your house and hearing birdsong? Do you remember walking down roadways that had beautiful weeds, flowers growing, taking over the spaces that we have been inhabiting for so many years? Do you remember what it was like to look at the blue skies and see nothing but blue skies? And I know we're all desperate for a holiday. We all want to find some rest and relaxation. And many of us, that will mean going off on a plane on our holiday or on something else that uses energy. I'm just as guilty as everyone else. I'm going on a narrowboat for my holiday for a few days. And I know that the engine will be putting along, but it will still be using fuel. But do you remember how we felt our world had changed? About 9 months into the pandemic, where people were looking at how we were as community, how we were solving the problems of this virus together with the scientists and the money number crunchers and everybody working together to find solutions to save our planet, our human planet, from devastating impact of this virus. What I would say to you as we now are really starting to get back to life as life was before, to maybe stop, take stock and think about those precious gifts that we noticed in those times when we couldn't sit and have a cream tea in a cafe. But Derek and I would sit with our deck chairs on the edge of the canal with a takeaway flask and watch the world go by. Precious moments, precious times to remind us that the planet that had been weeping and wailing drew breath for a few months. Don't let us let it end up weeping and wailing and breaking and burning. For you and I, it's a moment of change, a moment of recognizing the generations to follow us will want to have wasps on their jam. They will want to have weather that isn't dangerous and beyond our comprehension, but is just weather. It's a big ask, isn't it? If you haven't already done it, then maybe check out how much your carbon footprint is. If you run a business, are you thinking about how you're running your business? In churches, are we thinking about how many candles we burn, what that uses of our oxygen and our resources? Let's all do this together, for the sake of our planet that groans, for the sake of our great, great, great grandchildren sitting and enjoying the beauty of their world, knowing that it's there for their great, great, great grandchildren. I said just now I'm going to be going on holiday, and I am taking a bit of time off in August, so there won't be Wednesday afternoon sessions at the kitchen table. What I would like to say is that there are so many different church services, thought for the day type things on the internet. Go and have a look, visit and see what other people are thinking, how they're praising, what they're saying. The churches are open over the coming weeks. This week at St Michael's we'll have Andy York come and lead the service for us. I'm going to be away at a family wedding up in Birmingham. I hope that you will find some spiritual support and fulfillment over the next coming weeks, as I'm going to go and find the rest and restoration that I find with being with my family, with connecting with people that I love and haven't seen for a very long time. I guess you might all be doing the same thing. But while we do it, think about the steps we make, how we can offset some of the behaviours we have. So maybe if you are flying off somewhere for a holiday, maybe save an extra £50. And with that £50, when you come back, do what we're going to do and get some trees planted. Because actually, it might not solve all the problems, but it will help offset some of them. And you and I, together, in this moment, in this time, can truly make a difference if we choose to think about the creation that our Creator has given to us, and how it's a domain that we all share and live in. Look after our pesky wasps, look after each other, near and far, and know that we can make a difference. So take care, God bless. Keep an eye on the Facebook sites for things happening, but Derek and I will be away for a large part of August, and we'll catch up with you later. Full of stories to tell, I'm sure. Take care and God bless. Bye for now.